O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Chiefs coverage is sponsored by Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph, serving your community your way. Serve your country and build a brighter future with the Missouri Air National Guard. Top-notch training, tuition assistance, and bonuses up to $50,000. Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph. Aim high. Find your path today. Go to ang.com/MO.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Coming up in 30 minutes, you're going to hear from Andy Reid, George Karlaftis, and Hollywood Brown as they, of course, get set to head down to Brazil Friday night against the Chargers right here on 96.5 The Fan, Chiefs Radio Network. It's back, baby. Chiefs football is back. NFL football is back on Thursday when the Cowboys and Eagles open up. We'll get into the Lombardi contenders in just a second. We asked Nate Taylor about my list of 4. You guys added a few to the list as well. And the text line can always interact with us, 913-586-7965. Plus the video stream, I think we got it working again. It's up and running on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the shows, any of them here on 96.5 The Fan. Before we get to Lombardi, I do want to mention real quick, we were talking earlier about K-State football, and I know we'll get back into them in the 1 o'clock hour after Andy and the guys speak. But it is Border War week. Carrington was already talking some smack in the hallway.
Wow.
It's going to be a fun, interesting week between us, I think. He was asking if I was going to Columbia.
They got the basketball bragging rights a year ago.
They killed KU last year.
Man,
they finally got that done.
When's the last time they won in both in the same year?
I don't know.
Back in the
I don't know. I have no
early
idea.
2000s, I'm guessing.
But they're playing football, obviously, on Saturday in Columbia. And I know I will not be going to Columbia to watch them. But anyway, we were talking some smack, and then I was telling him, he seemed to kind of disagree with me a little bit, but that game should be at Arrowhead on Saturday because it's the restarting of the rivalry.
Agreed.
On the football end. Now, I love the campus sites.
Same as like T-Mobile for the basketball.
Yeah, part of this is probably because I was just at the Nebraska game on Thursday, and it was an awesome atmosphere. Nebraska fans showed up. It was great. We can talk more about the Big Ten in Nebraska and everything as the season goes on. But as far as the atmosphere, I was like, this should be the site for KUMU. And then we do the campus sites in Columbia and Lawrence as time goes on as well. But the first one back this Saturday should be at Arrowhead. It's unfortunate it's not. I'm bummed out about that. Could you imagine?
Game day should also be.
That's the other thing that's crap.
Yeah, why isn't game day? Why did they go to Michigan OU? That is a meaningless.
I hate it.
It's not 25, but it's not the better rivalry.
I'm not surprised. I think we knew this was probably going to happen because if you're in the SEC, even though Missouri's an SEC school, if you're on the East Coast or whatever, you probably, KUMU. But people don't realize how long that rivalry has been around. It's one of the true rivalries in sports.
And Oklahoma and Michigan isn't a rivalry.
They're playing for the second time ever. I mean, there is no connection.
For everything that college football is,
they're not even in the same conference.
Yeah, for all of what college football is, it should be and has been. It should be KU-AMU.
It's a
100%.
bummer that they're not going there. I know, like the SEC Nation and those shows are going, but we're talking about College Game Day. Should absolutely be in Columbia this weekend. It's a bummer. I hope that Oklahoma-Michigan game just sucks, honestly. I hope it stinks.
I hope it's just like a bummer of a game that nobody cares about. And Oklahoma has not been quite the same level of Oklahoma over the last few years, and they're just going to get – this is the one thing that they never appreciate when they go. Oklahoma is already getting sucked up into the wash of the SEC. Like, Texas has remained a brand, although they lost to Ohio State over the weekend. They've remained their – but, like – do you guys already feel that? Like Oklahoma just slowly getting sucked up into this, like, you're no different than Auburn. You're not one of the 4 names we mentioned in the SEC.
Yeah, that was always
You're in that
happen.
middle 5 through 12 teams we mentioned in the
100%.
SEC.
That was always going to happen.
Yes. And like, that's like versus you used to be a big dog on the street in the old Big 12. You used to like swing around and be one of the 2 big names floating through this conference. And now you're just like in the wash. No, I'm very disappointed that College Game Day isn't there. Mostly because, like, if the rivalry's restarting, it was a layup. They both gave you what you wanted. Both teams beat up on the bad teams. So for the moment, you can envision a world and you can just tell yourself they're both top 25 teams. It might not be true, but you can tell yourself that for the sake of pitching this matchup.
Whoever wins on Saturday will be in the top 25. I'll tell
Absolutely.
you that.
Absolutely.
Whoever wins that will. Someone was asking about Big Noon kickoff. Will they go there? Remember,
I think they're in Norman too, right? I think they're going to Norman as well.
I'll tell you where they're not. I know they're not.
Both going?
Well, they're not.
So.
Maybe I'm off on this.
They did the same thing in
guys. They don't go anywhere that doesn't involve a Big Ten school. That's the whole thing, right? Am I off on that? I thought Big Noon Kickoff only goes Big Ten. It usually has to involve a Big Ten school.
Typically,
it's the Fox Steelers Big
Yes.
Ten, and so there is no way Big Noon was going to Columbia. I mean, I'm fairly certain that Big Noon only goes to games involving one Big Ten school.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Big Noon Kickoff is going to Ames.
And who are they? Is it Iowa State? Again, involves a Big Ten school.
Again, though.
But that's the Big Ten match.
Credit to Fox for doing what they're doing with Big Noon Kickoff because they're picking a rivalry game that has a lot of history, a lot of hate. That I feel like that's for game day. They drop because they've been to Arrowhead before when those 2 schools have played. Of course, it was later in the season and all those other things. But why not embrace what college football is? And that's the rivalries, the pageantry, the hate, the traditions and stuff. Like you said, Gold, Michigan and Oklahoma played once before. Like, it feels like it's a bit of a dud for them to pick this game over the richer tradition, richer rivalry, more hate, everything that makes college sports what they are in KU-AMU. It just made more sense to do that.
I guess the hope is KU and MU, one of them, both of them have a good finish of the year. And that way next year in Lawrence, and maybe it's game day. Look, I'm not going to Columbia either. I can't blame you.
You're not going to go out?
I'm not going to Columbia. Are you kidding me? No chance.
Carrington's probably not either. He spends more time in Lawrence than Columbia.
He does spend more time. He's going, but he does spend more time in Lawrence.
Both going.
Yeah,
he spends significantly more time in Lawrence.
Carrington secretly this is the one weekend where he's really full blown Mizzou. Other than that, he secretly is a KU guy. Actually,
you think he's putting on a show?
Yeah, he's actually a KU guy. He really likes Lawrence. He doesn't want to tell people because it ruins the whole vibe for him. But I think this is the one weekend where he's diehard Mizzou, and then other than that, he's actually a KU guy.
From the 913, it's OU and Michigan, 2 of the big dogs of college football. If you go back and you look at
when's the last? I mean, Michigan, yes, but when's the last time Oklahoma did anything?
2003.
Was it Baker Mayfield?
Michigan obviously won a title a couple years ago.
And by the way, Michigan also, if we go back pre Jim Harbaugh, couldn't beat Ohio State to save their lives.
But now Ohio State can't, it's the other way around now.
Yeah, that is. But in fairness to them, Ohio State did win a national title, and that's with last year. But if they're big brands, but if you're watching college football and we're talking about rivalries and what makes college football rich in tradition, which is where I think Game Day likes to do at least, it likes to emphasize college towns and having all that experience and focusing on the great stories of college football. The Border War being back is a really, really big deal, or at least it should be.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I think.
Pumped for Saturday afternoon there in Columbia. All right, coming up in about 6 minutes, we'll get to the random question of the day. But we had mentioned this a little bit when we were talking about the NFC North, and one of the teams there is involved in this convo. And I was asking you guys earlier just how many legitimate Lombardi contenders are there in the NFL if you were to put your money on it? It's very easy to say, like, if there's nothing attached to it, oh, yeah, I'll just throw in an extra team. There's 6 or 7 teams. I'm saying if you actually had to bet $100 for each one of these teams, how many teams would you be willing to hand over $100 and bet on? And that's why my list is only 4. It's the Chiefs.
It's a short list.
It's the Bills. It's the Eagles and the Packers. I'm not even basing this off of odds. Like, take the odds part of it out of it.
No, because technically the odds-on favorite is the Ravens.
Yeah, and I did not pick them.
So you're definitely
Those are the only 4 teams I actually think can win the Super Bowl here in 2025.
I add the Ravens. I told you my list is a little bit longer. I want to include the Packers, but it goes back to the thing I was talking about with Jordan Love. We're like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of hung in a weird spot. It's definitely not a non-zero. But to your metric, that is, I would place money on them to win the Super Bowl. I wouldn't do it. I would not place money on the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I would for the Ravens and the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Bills, the same teams I've been betting on all these other years. And I told you the team I would include is the the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
There's just something about that team that I genuinely think you should consider any team in which you think they might be the best at one side of the football in the NFL. Now, to my point, I did not have Cincinnati in there. They might have the best offense in the league. But also, the Buccaneers don't have the worst defense in the NFL. It can't just be one-sided in the sense that that's all you've got. I think the Bucs deserve kind of the long shot play on here. And
I don't hate it.
I just think that they have the kind of team that could do it.
I don't hate it. I told you, look, that division's not very good. I think Baker's a dark horse MVP candidate, so I don't hate the idea. I think the tricky thing with any of the AFC North teams is, and I guess you could pinpoint a little bit to the NFC North, but I just think there's more quarterback questions in the NFC North than the AFC North, obviously. And so, if you get out of the AFC North, to me, you're not one of the top 2 seeds, most likely. And to me, you're getting beat up. And in a long grind of a season, I wonder about that. Versus like on the NFC North side, J.J. McCarthy is a complete unknown, as we talked about. Caleb Williams is still somewhat of an unknown. It's an easier path to the Packers winning that division than it is even Baltimore, who's a better team. I'm not disputing it. Like, I actually do think Baltimore is a better team heading into the season than the Green Bay Packers right this second on September 2nd. But by the time we get to the end of the year, when Micah Parsons not dealing with this whatever, is it back injury, whatever he's getting shot up for, he's got like an injection that he's going to have
exactly,
before week 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. Like I think those are the only 4 that I would put in. You're adding in the Bucs. Drew, I think you said you would add in the Ravens. Is that right as well?
Yes, I would add in.
Ravens are tough. What is it about the Ravens, just on curiosity principle? What is it about the Ravens that doesn't make you want to? Is it because they just have? Because obviously the Bills haven't played in the Super Bowl either.
No, the Bills have been
same number of AFC title game appearances.
I still just think Josh Allen's a better quarterback first and foremost. That's part of it.
I think
that's what I'm asking. I'm not it's not a knock. I'm genuinely curious why not to include the Ravens.
I don't know. I think if you're going to include the Bills, I think you have to just kind of include the Ravens because they're built in a very similar way. Defenses are very good.
Big difference though is the Bills will definitively win their division. The Ravens will.
I didn't hear what you go. Let him finish. I couldn't.
Go ahead, Drew.
Well, I was just saying that they're both built very similarly. The defenses have been very good. Wide receiver rooms are a little bit iffy, not exactly top heavy. Tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely. It feels like they're built similar. Good coaches, good organizations. I think if you're going to include the Bills, you have to include the Ravens just because they've been in the same pool of NFL playoff teams for as long as they have been in there. I think that I would take Lamar over Josh Allen. Maybe that's why I think you have to include the Ravens in that conversation.
Yeah, again, I've never had an argument over 2, 3, 4. I think you can interchange Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Burrow, just kind of depending on which flavor of the week you prefer. Gold, I think your strongest argument would be the Bills are making the playoffs. Nobody's winning the AFC East besides them.
No, it's an easier path. They're going to be the number 1 seed.
You're right about the division for sure.
They're going to be the number 1 seed.
Ravens will at least have to earn it a little bit. They got to work for those spots. Now, they've been first place in their division for the last 7 years, second place, first or second place, 6 of the last 7 years. And I have no idea what happened to them in 2021 where they finished 8-9 and missed the playoffs. Was Lamar hurt that year? Or did they just have some weirdo year?
What year are you
Lamar
talking about?
was hurt that year.
That was
Tyler
Huntley was the
started 4 games, played in 7, so that was probably
and the playoff game. The Ravens it was tied 17-17, and Tyler Huntley went he lunged at the goal line, ball got knocked out, and Sam Hubbard took it to the house, 99
Gotcha.
yards. That was the.
That wasn't a playoff game. 2021 is when they missed the playoffs. Is the year I'm talking about.
Oh,
Not the
that
year
was
after
that.
that, where Tyler Huntley in 2022.
They missed it
made the
entirely
playoffs
in
that year.
21.
No, they
That was
missed
the year
the
the
playoffs
Titans were
altogether.
the 1 seed, right? Wasn't that the
I'm sorry, the Titans were a 1 seed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
With
recently,
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
like in the last 4 years.
The Bengals, when they went to the Super Bowl that same year, the Bengals beat them, and they were the 1 seed.
What? That doesn't sound right.
You almost have to.
In the last, are we sure that was
blanked
not like
that
a
out of your
decade
mind.
ago?
That was in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that was the last year that Derrick Henry was there.
Now I gotta. That doesn't even seem.
Ryan
Simmons was an all-pro, I
Tannehill
think.
was putting up really good numbers that year, I believe.
No, Ryan Tannehill was kind of an underrated, middle of the road quarterback for a while there in the NFL. I just so confused. That seems like so much longer ago.
Don't forget, Sports Talk here on The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Just visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Random question.
It was 2021 for what it's worth. The Titans were the 1 seed.
There you go.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. You see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. So for you, Gold, you, Drew, text line 913-586-7965. Of course, we're back up. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. A little hiccup earlier. We're all squared away. So you can watch all 3 shows over on the streams. Subscribe on YouTube. Pops to the top of your feed. That way you don't miss any of the action over here. Simple question today that comes up over a holiday weekend because this happens anytime you get a little free time. What is the worst favor to be asked? So, of all of the many available choices, babysitting, moving, picking up at the airport, the variety of options available to you, of all the favors that you do not like being asked, very simply, what is the worst one to be asked? I'll have to count on you for the text line answers there as well.
Wow.
But yeah,
Favor.
which one do you dislike the least?
Well, so I know a lot of people would say, so my friend was, if you
Do you ever get asked to
own a-
babysit?
No.
Okay.
No. That one I wouldn't mind as much. But I was going to say, the popular one I'm sure we're about to see on the text line is anybody that has a truck.
Moving.
Like if I had the F-150 years and years ago, I would be asked to help move people probably because you have a truck. My buddy has had a truck his entire life.
And you've made him move you.
And so I know, like,
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
that's the answer for a lot of people, I'm guessing. I'm trying to think right now,
Over on
like
the
what's
text, or over on Twitch,
Yeah.
why not says money. Any borrowing of money?
I have just a firm fly. Like there has to be a specific circumstance. In general, you should it depends on who are you borrowing the money from. Like friends, unless we're
Would
talking
you
a
loan
few
me
bucks.
money?
It depends.
If I needed $200, would you loan it to me?
for you because I know where you're at every single day.
You can't relate.
Like you're right here every single day. That's what I'm saying. It really matters. Is it a friend that you see all the time, or is it a friend you see once every 6 months that you don't think you're ever going to get the money?
Right. If it's somebody you
That's
see
what
every
I'm
6
saying.
months.
It has to be a close friend or somebody that you work with directly. In general, I always think like having a friend loan you money is a situation you don't want to ever get in anyway. Because it can ruin a relationship, right? Like to me, you don't want to ask a friend for money and stuff because it can just really sour a relationship.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
That's a really tough one. What's your answer, Drew?
I would say that. I mean, I think I moved to the borrow money thing. I've been in that situation. I've also been in the position where I feel terrible because like if you go to a concert or whatever and you realize we're gonna go out to eat afterwards, and you go out to eat, and it's like can I borrow? Kind
It's
of
tight. Yeah.
It's the worst thing to be asked, I think, but also it's very embarrassing, I think, to be in the position of asking.
I actually, weirdly
the
enough,
favor of.
Yeah, it's like it's been a long time, but there's certainly time like in my early 20s where you're like, man, I need like $100 or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That, and mostly at that point you're just going to family, right? Or like a parent. Or people that, like, you're still embarrassed to ask, but you know that, like, that word's not getting out on the street.
Yeah.
You start, like, a little bit harder, at least on that end. I actually don't mind, like, I don't want to loan money, but I don't usually feel quite as bad about it. But it's all just circumstance. How flush am I? When you ask is probably dependent on whether or not I feel that bad about it. Happens to be a good moment where everything's riding high and the money's good, I got to loan you a little bit of cash. But I loan money explicitly under the rule of I have to assume I will never, ever, ever see this money again. If Gold says, hey, I need to borrow
You're
$200,
telling yourself that from the
I
jump.
am telling myself that if I give Gold this $200, that is money I have to assume I'm never getting back. Like, I'd like to get it back, and it'd be cool if I did.
But
I
here's
go
the
under the
thing.
assumption of that money's gone.
So I hear that. Again,
it's a
this is
good way
why
to do
I think unless there's really in a bind, I just don't think you should loan money to a friend to begin with, because then it all of a sudden can your relationship can be very awkward because you know that person owes you money. I think some other ones on the text line 913-586-7965. Someone says hands down the answer is moving. I have an annual talk with my core group of friends to explain to them that I won't ask them to help me move ever. I don't want them asking me. Someone else says, when Carrington asks me every day to tell one friend about his show is something that they don't like doing.
I think time and place is part of this too.
Someone says, would you let Drew borrow $50 to sell his couch?
I would have let him borrow $50 to sell his couch if it needed. I wouldn't want him to get ripped off, though. Somebody said asking you to cover for them for a lie. Hey, if my wife asks, we were together on Saturday night. Anybody want that favor?
No.
That's a favor, but that's a pressure-packed favor. Because if it's your buddy, Gold, or it's my friend, that's a tough one to be like, no, I won't cover for you.
Traditionally, I know this because I think I know my bounds. If somebody says, hey, can you keep a secret? I'm not the person probably to ask that because I do a very poor job. Sometimes I'll let the secret out without even realizing it.
I will say
I don't mean to, but I'm not very good at being asked to keep secrets.
I'll say one that doesn't apply now, but used to really be one that I hated in the favor asking department was cover your shift. So you work at a restaurant. It's a horrifying favor to have to ask. But being asked it is the worst feeling when you work at a restaurant.
It's kind of like the money
Hey,
one.
man, I can't work on Friday night. Can you come in and bartend for me? Like, I don't want to do that. And I don't know, Gold, when you were at Best Buy or you worked at the sporting, at those places, I imagine all kinds of shift covering needs. When it comes to big box places like that. Drew, you ever had, have you had a job where that required? Your wife probably runs into that now because she works at a restaurant.
100%. Yeah. In the restaurant industry, it's, hey, I can't make it. Can you cover? Or it's the thing that I think probably would bother you more, Cody, now that you mention it, is I think she's annoyed when she's asked to cover a shift, but it's not from the person whose shift she's covering. It's from somebody else. Like, hey, can you cover this person's shift? They told me they're not going to be here. It's like, excuse me, have them tell me that they're not able to cover the shift.
The favor. I'm never telling
That's ridiculous.
The secondary person, yes.
From the 816, someone says, dude, my wife always asks the favor. Would you do me a favor and steam clean the floors this weekend? That's what
Steam clean the floors. That's a very specific favor.
Yeah,
I like that.
Ride from the airport, a few people are saying.
Man, it's Uber. You can't be asking. Depending on the time. If it is after 10 p.m., you cannot be asking me for a ride for the airport. You just got to get an Uber.
This is one of those, for a friend, Uber, family member, it's different. I've picked my mom up from the airport at 10:30 at night before. That's different.
Agreed.
But a friend, you're Ubering. So, you got to do an Uber. You know what I mean?
I think it's a time.
Agree.
Unless it's
Before
a friend
8 a.m., after 10 p.m., leave me out of
Now,
this.
the exception to that is if it's a friend that's coming in town to see me, right? Or is hanging out with our group of friends. If it's just Cody's getting back in town and he needs a ride home, dude, take an Uber. But if it's, hey, a friend from another, let's say, I worked in another city. If someone from out of town was coming in to hang out during the weekend, I would be willing to pick them up from the airport more than I would just random friends coming back in town, place they live.
Yeah, I don't know, man. With the prevalent, you can park at the airport, you can get an Uber.
Someone says agreeing to go in on a pallet of crap. Yeah, thanks, Cody.
I don't know if that was a favor. That was a scheme. Those are different.
I don't know if you guys are like this too, but whenever, if my mom, I guess that while I was gone was like, hey, can you do me a favor and go to the store because there was something that we were going to make food-wise and we didn't have it. Anytime I hear, hey, can you do me a favor, I'm mentally preparing for something that I know is not that great. But I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll
here's
go
the
and
difference,
do that.
is that when somebody says, can you do me a favor, it is oftentimes small. It is oftentimes, hey, can I borrow a pencil? Can you pop by one thing for the store? They're asking for money. The sentence, can you do me a favor, doesn't even come out. The bigger asks,
can you do me a favor and loan me $500? That's not a favor.
Or
that's
can you
not
do me a favor and help me pick up this thing from the truck? They just say, I got to pick up this couch. I don't feel like it often comes that way. Gold, you got the truck now. You helping? You help somebody move yet?
I have not. Nobody's asked me yet. But if I got the F-150 thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford. Yeah, I guess I could load up the pickup a little bit. Last one, and then we're going to move on. Andy Reid's coming up around 1 o'clock. Someone says, you shouldn't feel bad for saying no to favors. I ask my wife all the time for a certain favor. She always turns me down. And that is the random
That might be her
question
answer
of the day here on Cody and Gold. Up next, we're expected to hear from Andy Reid, Hollywood Brown, and George Karlaftis as they get set to head to Brazil.
This is Cody and Gold.
You will not decorate my balls, period. I will decorate my balls.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
I'm going to do you a favor and let you know that football is back and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right now in Missouri. You don't have to wait till December. You can play right now in Missouri over at Underdog. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get those entries right. You can win up to 1,000 times your money and play with as little as $1. So for tonight, maybe you like Bobby to go higher than 1.5 hits. Maybe this Friday, you like higher than Kelsey's yardage number. You can do that over at Underdog by making this selection. You can mix and match sports. You can mix and match teams. All of that available right here on the Missouri side. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's it. Just $5 with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, and join the millions of fans who have already won billions making plays at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
Taco Tuesdays just got a whole lot steamier at Boru Asian Eatery. Forget tortillas. We're serving up soft, pillowy bao buns stuffed with bold, flavorful fillings for just $2.50 each. Because who says tacos have to be basic? Come get your bao fix every Tuesday at Boru in Waldo. Boru, a part of the Summit Hospitality Group and a proud taco partner of the Cody and Gold Show on 96.5 The Fan.
Kids are back in school, so schedule your project today. With Powell Exteriors KC Easy Financing, pay no interest until 2027. Whether a deck or new roof, go to PowellExteriorsKC.com now to schedule your free estimate. It's the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC, Kansas City's exteriors experts.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
The wait is finally over. Football season is here, and FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers, you can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, any bet. Bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Use it how you want. Build your favorite parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is. Remember, FanDuel has you covered. Be sure to check out FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use that promo code to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after free. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Partner with the business that's ready to work for yours. The Home Depot. We supply the support your job needs with the level of service your business deserves. Streamline operations and get more done with the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold.
Still can't decide.
Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon.
Feels like a businesswoman about town with this music.
I feel like this could have been in Beverly Hills Cop.
Definitely in the credits. After it's over.
Yeah.
Or in the 80s movie montage where somebody's having a bit of a glow up. You know, they're having kind of their moment.
Getting the hair
They're going
done,
through shopping.
Somebody's driving a nice convertible right now through the streets of L.A. or San Francisco or something in a movie. Anyway, we're expected to hear from Andy Reid in just a couple of minutes after practice is now, I think, wrapped up just a few minutes ago. Same with George Karlaftis and Hollywood Brown. You'll hear that right here on your home for the Chiefs. 96.5, The Fan, of course, Chiefs football on the air Friday night, 3 hours before kickoff, live in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
And of course, Sports Talk on The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
I'm curious to hear from Hollywood Brown, though. And again, he's going to speak in just a few minutes.
He's got an interesting year ahead of him.
Well, it's a big year for him for future contracts. The Chiefs need him in particular the first 6 weeks, as we know, with the Rashee Rice suspension. But he was at camp, and then he basically was gone for 3 weeks. We haven't heard from the guy in 3.5 weeks at least. And this will be the first time today that he speaks post-ankle injury. Maybe we'll get some more clarification on exactly what it was. We never found out exactly what it was. I think he was asked, Andy Reid was, is it a high ankle sprain? He said it was more like that than anything, but it wasn't as severe and didn't require surgery. We'll find out just kind of where he's at. I think it was one more serious than they let on, but at the same time, they were going to be very protective because they knew one, his history, but also that Rashee Rice was likely going to be suspended at some point. And so I want Hollywood Brown to be healthy all year, but the reality is I specifically need him the first 6 weeks of the season when I know I don't have Rashee Rice. Because if you tell me Hollywood Brown has to miss 2 weeks, week 12 to 14, all right, that's okay. You don't want
I'd like it to be after week 6, that's for sure.
Yes.
Ideally after week 8, when Rashee Rice has gotten a few weeks to kind of get the offense back up and rolling. He is I don't know if I'd call him like the X factor of the offense. He is maybe the biggest unknown of what their offensive potential can be. I understand what Xavier Worthy has and can add to the offense. I understand what Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice can and have added to the offense, Pacheco and others. I have never seen Hollywood Brown as a regular member of the Kansas City Chiefs. He has at one point in his life been a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL. I happen to think that those years are gone and that whatever potential he was of a 1,000-yard receiver probably isn't hiding in there, and this is more of an Allen Robinson scenario, but, we'll see.
All right, let's hear from Andy Reid right now on 96.5 The Fan.
All right. The only one that didn't practice today was Royals. Everybody else practiced, had a good day today. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Chargers. Tomorrow we'll hop on the plane and head out and go from there. We have a walkthrough down there the following day, which would be a normal Saturday for us. Anyways, time's yours.
What have you seen from Hollywood this week as far as how the ankle looks, the foot looks, towards being 100%?
Yeah, listen, he's done everything, so he looked good out there, running around, and he just needs to get in the game and play. But as far as practice goes, he's done everything.
How about the Chargers? Obviously it's the first game. You haven't got a big track record on what they've done so far. New guy with Harbaugh last year. What do you expect out of them?
Yeah, listen, they're well coached. Jim does a great job with that crew, and he's got good coordinators, good coaches, and then like any year early in the season, you got to be ready and flexible to adjust with new things that might come up.
Okay. Thanks so much.
So they're treating that as basically a Friday. If you guys know, Fridays during the season are Fast Fridays, and that was fast on
Did they
on
ask him
Tuesday.
to be short today? He's going to be nice and long on Thursday when he speaks to the media in front of Brazil.
Yeah, and Thursday he'll be talking to the international and foreign media and all that, so that'll be longer. We are going to hear from Hollywood Brown and Carl Loftus. Only there really wasn't much out of that, obviously. We kind of knew Jalen Royals was not going to practice. You mentioned Hollywood Brown. He's practicing. We know that. I was going to say we'll just continue our Hollywood Brown conversation since there wasn't much there from Andy.
Yeah, who we'll hear from in a moment.
The over-under on yardage, you were saying, what do you expect and all that. For Hollywood Brown this year, 575.5 over at DraftKings and FanDuel.
Well, it's helped by the fact that the first 6 games he won't have Rashee Rice to compete with.
That's the thing. That's why I actually believe it's in play.
His last full year as a starter, or the last full-ish year, he's been an injured player, but you get the point. The last year he had played, he actually played in 16 games that season. 11 games that season. 11 games started, 14 games total for them, I guess. I don't know, whatever it was. 709 yards in 12 games. In 14 games, he had 574 yards in Arizona. The year before that, he had 1,000 in Baltimore and 769 in 16 games. So it suggests to you that if you think he stays healthy, that number should be in play. The truth is, I expect him to play 12 or 13 games and have probably right around the number, 525 yards, 550 yards, which, by the way, is fine. That would have been like third on the team last year. Hollywood Brown doesn't need to be this team's number 1. He doesn't even have to be this team number 2 or third option. He needs to be their 4th or 5th receiving option. So at 525 yards, I would consider that a massive upgrade over what has been their 4th option in this offense, which has pretty much been Justin Watson the last 4 years. So or 3 years. I would lock in 550 if you gave it to me.
The hope should be what we saw. Was it the Texans game was his first real game back, if I'm not mistaken. Like that's the one you're hoping. You saw why they were excited about him to begin with. Now, we're not going to see him with Rice on the field, but we didn't even see him with Rice in that Texans game. That was with Worthy, and that was with Travis Kelce available. I mean, that was, and that's what we're going to see Friday night in Brazil. So as much as I think the beneficiary from the Rice suspension ultimately is actually Juju, Hollywood Brown, if we believe the down the field passing game is back, if that's actually going to happen, it's not just Worthy, it's Brown, and it's Tyquan Thornton. And that would be the question. How much does Tyquan Thornton get opportunities down the field. And if that's the case, then I would be worried about hitting the over on the 575 for Brown. If you think if you think Thornton's going to get some opportunities on the field, because for Hollywood Brown to get over 575, he's going to probably have to connect on some 35-plus yard plays down the field. Yeah, fairly early on in the season because of the unknown availability. That's probably why you stay away from the yardage, just because you always know with him there's a chance that he can miss significant time.
I'll give him credit. He usually gets, between 4 and 7 touchdowns. He's usually in and around the end zone. And yeah, in a per game yardage, he's been relatively consistent other than the one year he managed to be a 1,000-yard guy. 41, 46, 41, 45 in 4 of his 7 seasons as a starter. That would put him at like the 650 mark. Okay, great. Yeah. And again, I'm not even counting on that for him. For him, it's can you be enough of a distraction deep that the underneath stuff actually has a chance to get taken care of?
I don't need. It's basically you're balancing. Do you believe he's playing in more than 13 games? If he is, then he doesn't even actually have to connect on the deep passes to get to 575. But if you think he's only going to play in 10 games, then you better hope you have the deep connections, because 13, 14 games, you're only asking for, at that point in time, 55 yards? If you get him to play in all 17, you're asking for 33 yards a game. That sounds easy, but the chance of playing in 17 games is fairly slim.
Which means he's got to be a 40-yard per game guy and play 13 or 14 in order to get that number.
Yeah, maybe more than that, actually.
Again, that's why I would lock in 550.
Yeah.
I would lock in 550, and I'd feel very comfortable.
And thinking of Hollywood Brown, he is speaking to the media right now.
Hollywood, just generally speaking, just stemming from the ankle stuff, how are you feeling right now?
Feeling good, blessed, real good.
What was going through your mind at practice with that? You pulled up with that at first there in the end zone, and was there any not agains or anything like that going through your head?
Of course. I mean, I'm human. But ultimately, everything that I've been through, I never really get too high, too low. So, after that day, I probably was in my feelings a little bit that day. But moving forward, just went to attacking it.
Who helped you the most behind the scenes just to get ready for week 1?
Everyone. I mean, last year was tough for me mentally. So this time around, lean, on my family, on my coaches, chaplain, everybody, they was there for me. And, I feel blessed to, be in this position.
What are the challenges entering this without any preseason snaps to your name?
I don't really look at it as no challenges. I mean, I've been blessed to play this game for a while, so just excited to get to Brazil.
You obviously made it back at the end of last season, but is there kind of a feeling that you've been waiting like 13 months for this game to come?
Yeah, definitely. For a while. Even, before I got here, I didn't finish the season in Arizona. So, I feel like this is one of my first seasons in a while. That's what it feels like.
Just having you completely healthy and Xavier on the other side can do for what the offense can be this year?
It's exciting. Definitely excited, to take the field with them. With all the guys, just ready to showcase what we could do.
You're down a couple of guys, Rashi and Jaylon. Whether did you feel like a little extra sense of responsibility to have the position group play well this week?
No, not really. I mean, we know what we could do. When guys go down, it's next man up. When I went down, it's next man up. And that's our mentality throughout the whole team. So for us, it's just doing what we do.
Hollywood, how far has your chemistry come with Patrick since the beginning of last year now?
A lot. I mean, it's easy to build chemistry with a guy like that. So it's basically, feeling our speed, feeling how I like to do things. And from that point on, the guys, he get it there.
You guys have a long day of travel ahead tomorrow. What do you got stacked up to get through the flight?
Oh, me, like I said, I ain't really play, so I'm excited. Whatever we're going to do, I'm excited and getting ready to play.
Chris said you got a TV you can take on the plane. Watching movies?
I'll probably watch some movies, bring my video game, prepare for the game.
Thanks, Hollywood.
All right, so that was Hollywood Brown speaking about the travel there at the end. They do fly to Brazil tomorrow. My guess is, the seats they'll be flying. There'll be plenty of room to sleep and stuff like that.
So he's going to play video games the whole time. That's a great way to pass the time.
Yeah, or just sleep.
I've never been on. I can't sleep on the plane. Maybe in those seats.
Those seats, again, they're not. There's not 3 wide. You're not in middle seat. You're getting in those nice. I don't know if it'll be the same type of deal they had for Germany. This flight's not as long as that, but It's still a
How
good
long of
little
a flight is it? Do we know?
I do not know. That's actually a good question.
Because the Juwan Taylor part I had asked Nate Taylor about earlier does fascinate me as part of this.
Let's go back out there, though, and hear from George Karlaftis.
George, how fired up are you for the opener? I mean, you do all this work and the way last year ended.
Yeah, just like you said, we have a lot of motivation going into this season. Prove some people right, prove some people wrong. Fired up, super excited to get this thing started and prove what we got and what we're made of. So.
The Chargers lost one of their big pieces on the offensive line earlier. You guys haven't. I mean, you're scouting preseason games and whatever you can get. But what does their unit look like right now? What you get ready to see on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, kind of fairly similar, minus that one change, like you said. They brought in a new guy and kind of some similar pieces from last year and what we've seen for sure. I mean, we got a lot of respect for that unit. They're a good team and they got a great O-line, great quarterback, of course, receivers, all that stuff. So, they got a great unit up front. So.
George, you've played Justin Herbert several times now. What makes him different than other NFL quarterbacks?
I'm not gonna say what differentiates him in my opinion because that doesn't really matter. But he's one of those elite guys. He's one of those top quarterbacks that really can do it all. There's the Patricks of the world, the Justin Herberts of the world, Josh Allen, Lamar. List goes on. But he really could do it all. So I wouldn't say it's what makes him different. I guess I should say what makes him different is that he could do it all. Like those elite guys, he could throw the ball. He's dangerous with his feet. So he really could do it all. And he's really smart too. So we respect the heck out of him.
George, I know last year the defensive line kind of got off to a slower start as far as sack numbers and what you guys are used to. How much has that been stressed to kind of get up to a quicker start in that category this year?
Yeah, we're definitely aware of that, and it's kind of talked. It's been talked amongst ourselves the whole offseason, and definitely one of the motivators we have going into the season. Just affecting the quarterback in any way we can because that's going to help our team win at the end of the day and our defense succeed. So. Definitely something that we're going to strive for, just getting the quarterback down, affecting the game in the best way we can.
George, just curious what you've seen from Charles throughout training camp.
Charles come back and put his head down and worked. He's been awesome. I think this is the first time since Charles has been here that he'll start off the season with us. So that's great. We got our rush group, we got our guys, and I'm super excited for him. For all of us, I know all of us got something to prove, and certainly Charles is too. So we're really fired up. We're really excited.
You look around the defensive room, just what you have on the roster right now. What do you like about your defensive room heading into this season?
The D line or the defense? Well, there's a lot of continuity. It's been ever since I've been here in 2022. I feel like it's been like a core group of guys. It's been the same, and that goes for coaches too. Minus like. Guy here or there and a coach here or there, but it's been very similar, which is great because you could build off of stuff. Everybody's familiar. There's not as much teaching. Everybody's familiar. You know where you're at, where you're going, all that stuff. So it's awesome. There's guys that like I said, because we didn't finish the way we wanted to last year, we're extremely motivated, and we're hungry.
You're 6'4". How are you?
I'm 6'3" and 3/4. Yeah. Combine 6'034" at the combine. So
I'm the same height, so I rounded to 6'4".
I probably should too, right? 6'5" with shoes on.
Exactly. How are you feeling about that? 12-hour plane ride down, a couple hours on a bus.
I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but for me, I'm kind of almost used to it. I've traveling back and forth from Greece since I was a younger kid, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, when you've done it enough, and I've done it since I was, a year old. I was the first time I came to America, when I was in Greece, and kind of gone back and forth ever since. It's kind of something I'm used to, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and you know how to deal with it. So, for me, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm huge about, I'm a huge proponent, obviously, being an international guy, but more and more international games being played, I'm all for it. I think that's the next step in getting this great game to grow kind of internationally. So I'm all for it. Yeah, the flight is a little long, but what are you going to do?
When was the last time you made that flight to Greece?
Well, I came back in May. So
yeah, just this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it depends on which route you take. It depends on which route you take, and depending on what time of the year. If you go, there's a direct from JFK, Boston, Miami, Atlanta, and Philly, and Chicago too, actually, from I think it's like late April to mid-September. So then you got the direct. The Delta and American has that, and then all the other year you make a stop, so you go like Kansas City to one of the bigger ones, and then a stop in Europe, and then that too. So it really just depends. I've done it all. Trust me.
This would be nice though. One flight.
It'll be nice. It's the first, probably the first direct Kansas City to Sao Paulo. So it'll be cool.
Have you noticed more interest in football in Greece since you've been entered the league?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, my fiance is over there right now, kind of, visiting family, all that stuff, and she kind of expressed to me that she's going places and people are like coming up to her and like asking her about me and stuff like that. And when I was back for a couple months in the off season, that's where I stay and all that. But it was awesome. I think the sport is growing a lot more. Definitely in like the Spanish speaking countries. Like I know it's huge in Spain. In Greece, certainly. I think in Europe you'll see more and more of it as we play more international games. So I'm all for it. I was in a unique situation. My mom's from America, so I had a unique opportunity to come to America. But there's a lot of kids out there that could benefit from the programs that the league's having with Player Pathway and give some opportunities to some kids over there. So I'm all for the international stuff.
You start getting in those Greece marketing deals now?
Not as much. I like to be more incognito when I'm back home, but yeah, it's all good.
There you go. George Karloftis speaking there, talking about going back home to Greece in the summertime and a little bit of the travel schedule. He's probably right. Yeah, I don't think there's normally a nonstop from Kansas City to Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Don't think so.
But they of course will have the nonstop. We were looking it up. Somebody was asking the flight time. What, about 11 and a half hours?
12 hours, yeah, somewhere in that range.
Versus Frankfurt, which was like 15, wasn't
Maybe
it?
they get to blast up the speed a little bit on their jet versus, what you and I
there's
fly.
still limitations. It's still operated by, United or somebody.
Yeah. That's a long flight. That goes back, again, the Nate Taylor thing that I don't want to fly under the radar is Jawan Taylor's had a knee problem. Turns out, when you have knee problems and then you put that knee on an airplane at altitude for 12 hours, there's a non-zero chance they get there and he's got to have like his knee drained or it's stiffer than they thought. And there was a practice this weekend where Jalen Moore did take snaps with the first team right tackle spot. And I'm assuming that that's not because Jawan Taylor's not ready today, but that in an effort of if there is a problem and we run into that problem, what is our preparedness level if Jawan Taylor's knee's funky by the time we get to Brazil? And that's Jalen Moore, obviously, a guy who has played tackle in the NFL.
I just can't imagine
I'm guessing Jawan Taylor will play. It's just one of those things to keep an eye out on when they get there.
I think that's fair. I just can't imagine, though, like, again, you and I going on a 12-hour flight, on a normal coach, economy airline, it's a little bit different than, I'm assuming they have a little bit more space on these flights than the average person.
I'll just tell you right now, I have not flown to like Europe or that or I'm not going to go until I can afford a business class ticket, I'm just waiting to go on that trip, like Germany. I'm waiting until I can afford the business class ticket.
I think the only way I would ever feel I need to pay for that would be a flight over 7 hours.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about here.
This,
12,
I know. Like, because in
hours.
general, like, if you fly to the Bahamas, okay, it's a 4 hour, it's like a 4.5 hour flight or something like that, depending on which way you go. Is it really worth paying for business or first class?
If you got the money, sure. But in general,
like anything, like sure, yes.
But if I'm flying over an entire ocean,
if I got the money, I'm flying first class all the time.
If I'm, if I'm flying over an entire ocean, like the whole damn thing, well then, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wait.
Well, when you just win the Powerball tomorrow night, and then you can fly first class whenever you want.
You buying a ticket? The only way to get included in this deal is if you buy a Powerball ticket tomorrow or today for tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. I'm all for it.
Got to get one at least.
Someone says they really do not. They have pretty bad planes, a little extra space, but they have the same type of seating. So again, I have no idea which plane configuration they're in on the way to Brazil. All I know is when they went to Frankfurt, they absolutely had the little pod things, whatever you want to call those.
Yeah, which is not a regular seat.
Yeah. Now I have on this plane. Maybe you're right. I do not know. I know when they went to Frankfurt, they were not in your normal everyday seat. They're normal United plane that they take to Denver. Yes, that's a normal plane. I'm saying because this is 12 hours, did they get a nicer plane? I have no idea.
You don't think Taylor Swift's hooking them up with a PJ, to...
Well, they can't fit. They can't fit 100 people on a private jet.
Yeah, maybe Trav could fly down there that way if you wanted to.
It's not just one. There might be two potentially.
It'd be more than that. Dude,
they
got
15
of them. Dude, there are hundreds of people going on these
spread
flights.
Spread out the wealth like a little bit.
I don't know,
they
man.
fly as a team. They don't let any of these guys fly separately like that.
Like Trav isn't going to take a private jet down. No, he's going to be on the team
You know how much
flight.
of a jerk he'd come off as if he was taking a.
Well, that's why it's so weird when Urban Meyer said, "Drop me off so I could go hit on college girls." Didn't make any sense. It was an insane move.
Someone says the important guys do. I promise I know for a fact. That's my saying is like, if they think Juwan Taylor's knee is impacted by the flight, they will make sure he has one of the better seats, if that's what you're.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll be able to stretch out.
I'm guessing they will do everything possible to make it a comfortable flight for him. Yes.
I mean, it really, I'm not kidding. Like that needs, I mean, that inflammation stuff can pick up quick. That's all.
Someone says also keeping they're taking 777s, not Southwest planes to Brazil. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not taking the regular, aircraft. Anyway, whatever. We're too much on the plane, but we'll ask Kling, when Kling
Spirit out there.
When we have Kling on the show tomorrow or later in the week, we'll text Kling and we'll ask him the exact plane configuration.
Yeah,
but I think this other text is probably correct, which is someone else just texted and said there might be like 40 or 30 of those pods, and the rest of the plane is normal.
Got it.
Do you think Andy gets a pod?
Yes. Absolutely.
No question.
I think he
does.
Veach does.
I agree.
I think Mahomes does.
Yeah.
I think if you make over $100 million, your ass is in a pod. And I think in this case, if you're Juwan Taylor and you've got a knee prop, you get a pod.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you used to get one, you don't get one on this flight.
Yeah, my guess is Brashard Smith's not getting the pod.
Yeah, Jason Brownlee's got to sit on a window seat.
Yeah. Anyway, up next, we'll get to what's trending. Let's get an aviation. Let's get Drew. Let's book an aviation expert for later in the week. We need a configuration breakdown on the flight.
Let me call MCI right now. I'm going to get a.
That's right. Let's get an aviation expert on. All right. Up next, what's trending? Plus, we spoke with Nate Taylor a little bit earlier today about the health of Juwan Taylor and some other players and what he's expecting in Brazil.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Save up to $4,500 with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter, thanks to limited time tax credits and special incentives on energy-efficient HVAC systems. But don't wait. Those federal tax credits expire after December. Upgrade your heating and cooling system, and you can enjoy lower energy bills and year-round comfort. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Call 913-888-4262 for your free consultation. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Fall's the best time of year to clean up the outside of your home or business, and the best way to do that is with a fresh coat of paint from my friends at CertaPro Painters. You want your home or business to make a great impression, and that starts with the exterior. And when you choose CertaPro Painters, you're choosing the best in the business for your job. CertaPro Painters go the extra mile. If there's a way to save you money, they'll let you know, and they take care of every detail from start to cleanup. So do what we did and schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Rally House, shop every team in town. College and pro, come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State, Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House, Rally House. It's your city, it's your house, it's a Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit bigloot.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509 or biglou.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with fast, reliable service 24/7, even weekends and holidays. Already invested in repairs? Save up to $4,500 on a new HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on what's trending now that we got the plane configuration stuff figured out. The Royals in action tonight. 6:40 first pitch. Michael Lorenzen on the bump. Vern's on deck show at 5:30 right here on 96.5 The Fan. Of course, they are 2.5 out of the final wild card spot. They are chasing the Mariners. They're also just behind the Rangers, too. So they need to leap back in front of the Rangers, who have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, unfortunately, winning like 8 of 10 or 9 of 11, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that'll run into a problem. But look, if that's their hot stretch, but you're going to have your hot stretch. Now, they've, of course, played really good baseball since the All-Star break. Still a chance to catch up, but yeah, they got to start winning right away. I am still curious to see how much Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione play. No lineup out yet for today, as those two guys got called up. Next up on What's Trending, Chiefs game week underway. Only player who didn't practice with the Chiefs today is Jalen Royals with his knee tendonitis. All other players are expected to be able to suit up and be available for them for their game coming up this Friday, as obviously the Chiefs officially play an NFL game this week. Feels weird to say. I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday when you guys were filling in for Labor Day, but
Elsewhere on What's Trending, a new AP Top 25 poll is out. I know you guys are so excited for this. Ohio State, number 1 in the country. No surprise, they move up from 3. Penn State stays at 2. LSU goes from 9 all the way up to number 3. That's because they beat Clemson. Georgia sits at 4. Miami Hurricanes go up from 10 to 5. Oregon is 6. Texas drops to 7. Clemson drops to 8. Notre Dame drops to 9. South Carolina moves up to 10th. That's your top 10 in the AP. K-State obviously fell out.
And they had Texas drop 1 to 7 just because they lost to the number 3 team in the country on the road. I think that's tough.
I think it's how bad Arch Manning looked.
I mean,
I don't think it's just that they lost. I think it's because Arch Manning did not look good.
Also, you know, you had
for one bad game.
Miami beat Notre Dame, so they jumped 5 spots, and Georgia moves up 1 spot. LSU took the huge leap from 9 to 3. I mean, LSU beat Clemson. They should move up. It just it doesn't, it's fodder. We don't have to have the whole AP poll conversation again. But by the way, Alabama went from 8 all the way back to 21 after that
is not a surprise.
They looked horrendous.
They were good for so long. I still take a little joy in watching Alabama lose. Man, Kalen DeBoer, what's his over-under on years he coaches in Alabama?
He better get going. He better get going in a hurry.
0-1 from right now, I would say.
I mean, he better start winning here quick.
I thought somebody described it well. Somebody called into the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday and said Kalen DeBoer is the substitute teacher who has lost control of the class, and Nick Saban is the teacher who's gone now, and Kalen DeBoer is the substitute. I thought that was an interesting way to describe it, where he looks. The players weren't giving effort. It was like, well, what's going on here?
They were slow.
It was raining, in fairness, in Tallahassee, but still, they looked bad.
Very much so.
I don't even know if K-State got any votes, by the way. I haven't checked.
I did not see that.
They're obviously out.
I did not see that part of it. Also, just one other thing: the Bills did re-sign wide receiver Gabe Davis today. To their practice squad.
I mean, his best years were there. It's kind of like the Chiefs just bringing back whatever other random wide receiver. It's like
McCole,
the evil. Yeah, it's that.
Juju.
It's exactly that. It's bringing back Juju. It's bringing back McCole. It's like a wide receiver. It also speaks to, and we said this before, the Bills got wide receiver problems. They do. It's not like an elite set.
They need Keon Coleman to step up.
Or they need Dalton Kincaid to step up.
Yeah.
They need one of the guys they've drafted early over the last couple
of years. Have a good year last year.
And Keon Coleman was disappointing in his rookie year. They need him to step up. Obviously, so much of their offense now is driven by James Cook and Josh Allen, just those two, but they definitely could use some more on the outside. So we'll see how it pans out offensively. But Curtis Samuel was disappointing last year too. So that's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Earlier today, Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider from ESPN, joined us. We talked to him a little bit about Brazil, but also about what the internal optimism is for this offense heading into Friday night and really the rest of the season.
Now, think about this, guys. All we know about is Rashee Rice being suspended. We know Jalen Royals is likely not to play because he has not practiced this week. And again, he's a rookie. And that's really it, guys. They're as healthy as they were at any point last season, right? I want to remind people that there was no Hollywood Brown in week 1. He will be available Friday night. So you're basically swapping him and Rashee Rice. But outside of that, you have a healthy Isaiah Pacheco. You have Kareem Hunt, who wasn't even on the roster this time last season. It really does come down to, and I think this is why the Chiefs have not been so, bullish. They haven't been very boastful. It really comes down to, man, if we could just protect 15, especially on the blind side with Kingsley Suamataia having his second career start at left guard and rookie Josh Simmons having his first career start in a foreign land on prime time, big spotlight game. Here comes Khalil Mack. If they can do well, then this offense will score 30 points. We got a glimpse of it in the preseason finale against the Bears. But the reason why the Chiefs are not as voyous, not as verbal about this game is because they do understand who's protecting the blind side of Patrick. And again, that comes with, some unknowns just because they haven't had to do it yet together as a two young guy tandem.
This is probably procedural, but I saw that at least Moore was running with first team right tackle for a little bit. Is there any concern over Jawan Taylor's knee, the draining, the travel, all the stuff that comes with the extra time on a flight?
Yeah, great point, because he's going to be one of the first people I try to get my eyes on Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Sao Paulo. Again, if the logistics work, if traffic isn't an absolute nightmare. But yeah, we asked Jawan last week about it and just said, hey, I might have to get my knee drained, which was similar to last year just because of all the things you just said, Cody. We're going so far away. This is so out of everybody's comfort zone, not just in the regular season, but to actually start the regular season this way. I think that's where it gets really tricky. Now, I've talked to, some former offensive linemen who say, hey, if the field's not great, that's actually to the offensive lineman's benefit because the defensive lineman won't have the necessary traction and the get off that they would usually have under, normal NFL playing surfaces. So when it comes to Jawan Taylor, he wants to play. He is their starting right tackle, but they're going to have to manage it. And, at least for the Chiefs' sake, thank goodness you have Jalen Moore as a glorified, overqualified, 6 offensive lineman. But I think Jawan will do everything in his power, even if it means he's got to drain that knee again that he has tried not to have since the offseason began, really since he had, his procedures, I believe in like March and June. He has not had to have that yet, but the Chiefs have been smart to manage it. So we'll see. But I fully expect him to be out there in uniform in Friday's game.
We're talking to Nate Taylor from ESPN here on Cody and Gold. You also reported in the last 48 hours or so that anybody thinking there was going to be a last-minute contract extension announcement for Trent McDuffie, well, that's not happening before the start of this season.
Yeah, which I think is unfortunate because it was one of my things that I had on the to-do list for the team. I'm not trying to compare these things, but it is educational to know what happened with Micah Parsons. Now, I'm not saying Trent McDuffie is Micah Parsons, the player, the person. These are two different people. But the reason why the Micah Parsons thing got so out of hand is because you had plenty of chances to sign him. And this offseason, essentially from the moment they signed Trey Smith after the franchise tag deadline period on July 15th, that was really your first opportunity to sign Trent McDuffie long-term, to ensure that he will play pretty much every season in his 20s with you. They've done that with Trey Smith. They've done that with George Karlaftis. Trent McDuffie was next in line. They did secure his fifth-year option, so I want to make that very clear. It was in the story as well on ESPN.com. Like, the Chiefs do still have club control this year and next year, and if they want to get, diabolical, I guess they could franchise tag him for the 2027 season. Now, you don't want that to happen, but that's a possibility. So I think most smart front offices understand, given where the salary cap is going, which, let me tell you, kids, if this thing goes well on YouTube on Friday night, if there's no glitches, similar to what happened with Netflix on Christmas Day, the salary cap is going to go up because these games, these standalone games are only going to go further up in terms of bidding. Commercials are going to go up. Obviously, there's going to be a bigger salary cap, which means, hey, the percentage that player is on the salary cap will theoretically go down as the cap continues to balloon in this modern, new age streaming era. So for all intents and purposes, I think it was behooves of the Chiefs to really try for the last 6 weeks. It has not gone, well. I think both parties, I should say, understand that, hey, next offseason is really where it's going to start to get interesting because, hey, we still have the fifth-year option, but we would like to acquire and control your services beyond that. Trent McDuffie has been on the record that says, hey, he loves the Chiefs. He loves being a Chief. He is Brett Veach's highest draft pick ever, ladies and gentlemen. So it is imperative that they sign him to a long-term deal because he is their second-best defender. He's so good. And if Vlad McConkey does nothing on Friday, it will largely be because of Steve Spagnuolo's scheme and Trent McDuffie executing it, whether from the slot or from the perimeter.
Nate, I know we've talked a lot about the offense on this. I feel like the defensive game plan is hope guys just get better. I know that sounds kind of weird, but on the defensive line, it's largely the same group. I know Gelati and Norman Lott got added in the draft, but with rookies and Spags and that stuff usually taking some time, unless one of those guys is going to burst onto the scene early, a lot of the same defensive backs, a lot of the same safeties, a lot of the same defensive linemen, especially for a team that didn't get a ton of pass rush. Why should I believe that they'll be a lot better in the pass rush department, other than they were 2 years ago, certainly, but is this just an ebb and flow thing that they're banking on?
Well, I'll try to give you the optimistic version first, fellas. Hey, Mike Dana wasn't healthy for much of last season. Charles Omenihu, as we knew, was coming off the ACL. The year before that, he was, serving a suspension kind of like Rashee Rice is now. So those are two big question marks that could go in your favor. Hey, Mike Dana is a better player. More of what he showed 2 years ago, and you get Charles Omenihu for a full season. He's very good on the edge and on the interior on third down. Chris Jones, an incredible player, right? So if you have more support around him, hey, maybe he'll get more one-on-one opportunities, and he'll devour the quarterback more, get back to that double-digit sack number that we're accustomed to. George Karlaftis really took off in the second half of the season. Hey, we just signed you to a long-term contract. You ain't got to worry about that. Now you can just go out and ball and work off Chris Jones from a one-on-one standpoint. Let's see that motor. Let's see that relentlessness. Hey, you can have another 10-digit kind of, sack year. Hey, if you get 10 sacks, incredible year for George Karlaftis. Now the negative. Boys, all four of those things got to happen. And I'm dead serious because after I mentioned those four names, Charles Omenihu, George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, Charles Omenihu, Okay, could Derek Knighty hold up for 17 games? I mean, I guess. Omar Norman Lott, really talented.
Jerry
Gonna
Tillery?
take a while. Jerry Tillery, I mean, cool. Like, they don't have Felix Ndike-Uzama. They don't have Janarius Robinson. Both those guys are on IR, not coming back this season. Okay, Ashton Gelati, hey, man, try really hard for like 6 weeks and come back to me. So see what happens, right? It's all four of them dudes, guys. I just, like, there is no Mike Pennell. He plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, you just can't sign him off the street if things go bad in, like, week 4. Like, that's not happening. So, yeah, you need all four of those guys to be really great. That's the pessimistic version of it. And, hey, it would be really nice if the offense got back to being a spaceship so that we're up by, like, 7 points in the second half, and we can start to tee off. And Spags can start to use blitzes to be creative, whatever. Like, I mean, I think the secondary will be fine even without Justin Reed. But, I mean, once again, Chris Jones, hey, man, be Aaron Donald again. Be an all-world destroyer and have hopefully a good trio to support you from a pass rushing standpoint with George Karlaftis, Mike Dana, and Charles Omenihu. And then hopefully, and we'll see this on Friday, hey, man, Najee Harris, he's an NFL running back. Go defend him. Go tackle him really well. Amario Hampton, hey, he's supposed to be a first-round pick, rookie, supposed to be a dynamic star. Well, welcome him to the NFL. Show him how it's not going to be like college on opening night in Sao Paulo. That's the task for the defensive line. But really, their 4 defensive linemen have to stay healthy, have to be productive, have to work together for this defensive line to be what it was 2 years ago, less so than it was last year.
Real quick, Nate, before we let you go, we were having the conversation. If I said you had to put $100 on any of these teams you mentioned, how many legit Lombardi contenders do you think there are where you would put your hard-earned money on them? Because you have 6. Okay, my 4 were Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Packers. Who are your 6?
I think you still got to include the Ravens, even though. Yeah, I know, January. I know, guys. I know. It's not all Lamar last year. Lamar was fine in the second half in Buffalo. It was freaking the most reliable guy they have, and Andrews screwing up. So, okay, I get it. You guys have Packers and Eagles, right, from the NFC?
I have the Packers and Eagles, and I have the Chiefs and Bills. Cody had, instead of the Packers, I think he added in
the Bucs.
Added in the Bucs.
No, stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. We're including the Packers. Jordan Love's like 20-12 every year.
I would rather go with the Lions just because, hey, they've had the now true NFL experience, right? It sucks that they don't have Aaron Glenn. They don't have Ben Johnson anymore. But largely the core still together. Hey, let's see Aiden Hutchinson come back from the injury, be a dominant force again. But they have true experience now. Jared Goff, still in the prime of his career. He's not tailing off just yet. I would love to include the Rams, but my man's shoulder about to fall off. So I can't really do that, even though they have the better coach, Sean McVay. So, hey, the Lions have true experience now. Hey, they made it to the NFC Championship in an absolute, storybook kind of season, kind of choked it away in the second half against the 49ers. Hey, it happens. You're on the road. Last year, everybody fell off on defense. And Jared Goff had his worst game of the season. And look, Jaden Daniels, very good. Obviously, one of the better rookie seasons we've ever seen. Hey, they got you, right? So now you know what it's like in 2 playoff runs to, hey, maximize what might be the last window of this great run. I would still put the Lions in the mix. The Bengals don't have a good defense. The Broncos, they have a great defense. Could they be the Baltimore Ravens of yesteryear where it's like, hey, Bo, hand the ball off and check it down, man. The defense will do everything else. Like, it's possible.
It's tough, but we now know that, like, Lamar Jackson's an MVP, We know that now. We didn't know that then, but we knew that now. We know that now.
Yeah. So, again, I think the Broncos are kind of in the mix. Yes, Tampa Bay is frisky. They'll win their division. They'll have maybe 1, maybe 2 playoff games at home. So, they're a contender, but I think there's really 6 teams who legitimately will start the season saying Super Bowl or bust. And I'm fascinated to see what in God name the Eagles are going to do to the Cowboys on Thursday. I'm going to be on that. I'm going to be watching that from Sao Paulo, like almost looking through my eyes. Like, oh my God, Dak Prescott, get out of that game healthy, my boy, because they're going to destroy the Cowboys.
That was Nate Taylor with us earlier today at the end there talking about Thursday Night Football. Yeah, it kicks it all off. As I said, just ignore all the pregame stuff. Just watch kickoff of Eagles Cowboys. You don't need to watch the trophy celebration and ceremony. I don't need to watch that.
They got some funny Jerry Jones clips who said, "I like the pain," when asked why he hasn't hired somebody in charge this entire time.
Eagles fans love Jerry Jones. Eagles fans love Jerry Jones.
But they do. Eagles have made it to 3 Super Bowls in the last 15 years with 3 different head coaches. They've only won one of those.
Yeah.
But are 4 Super Bowls with 3 different coaches. Because they made one with Andy, one with Doug Peterson, and 2 with Nick Sirianni, winning just
2 of them.
Or 2 of them, yeah.
They won with Peterson.
They won the one with
Peterson
Foles,
won.
too,
Peterson's got a statue at the damn stadium.
So Doug Peterson, they got 2. So, like, they don't, by the way, that is why Howie Roseman and the Eagles get the marker of, if there's an organization that is a gold standard in the NFL besides the Chiefs, the Eagles and the Chiefs are the 2 best run teams in the league. The Eagles can fire their head coach and still be relevant a few years later because they know how to run an organization.
Yeah, they've been they have been the 2. I mean, they have been the 2 best organizations over the last 4 years.
Probably 10, honestly. Stretch it out.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much since Andy Reid stepped foot in Kansas City and the Eagles that entire run.
Yeah,
they might have had a Chip Kelly year in there.
Yeah, Chip Kelly was a thing. Did you see the news that came out about a half hour ago?
No, what'd I miss?
For those that like to live in a little bit of nostalgia, we know backyard baseball's been back a little bit. They just announced, they being Backyard Sports, Backyard Football 99 coming back September 9th.
I never played that one.
So I play backyard soccer, baseball, football. My only request for this, it's cool they're bringing it back. I want the revamped version.
You want Bobby Witt Jr.
Like this
playing
one,
with Pablo.
like this one's cool. Like it's got Jerry Rice and Randall Cunningham and Barry Sanders and Dan Marino playing with, what's his name?
I can't remember the NFL players.
Gosh, or some of the Kenny Kawaguchi. They got them on there. But I want the version where Kenny Kawaguchi's playing with Patrick Mahomes and Jamar Chase.
Keep the original characters' names, but give me the fresh players.
That's all I'm asking for. But I'm excited to see. I have the Backyard Baseball reboot on my iPad, and every once in a while, like on the plane, I played it for a little bit. But I want the redo. I want Backyard Baseball 26, 25 or something that has, Can you imagine Lamar Jackson on Backyard Football?
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what I want. But it's cool they're bringing it all back. Remember, some company bought them a year or 2 ago, and